Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up what needs to happen here. Tom's gotta step up and defend that undisputed championship. White's already made his position crystal clear. Tom's out of the picture right now. What we really need to see is Pierre going head-to-head with Sergey, and we need that belt on the line. The way I see it though, we're probably looking at an interim situation here. Word's been going around that they wanted Tom to give up the title.
Alright, so scientists basically proved that social media is literally rewiring our brains, and I'm not talking about some vague theoretical connection here. They measured actual dopamine receptors, the things in your brain that control pleasure and reward, and found direct, undeniable correlations with how much time people spend scrolling through their feeds. Like, this is hard neuroscience we're dealing with, not just speculation.
Here's how this whole thing supposedly went down. When the UFC asks you to hand over that belt, you do it. It's all about the optics, you know? At the end of the day, it's their championship and they can take it back whenever they feel like it. But that's not really the direction they want to go.
Has to fall down and hold his...
The participants who were heavy platform users, man, their brain chemistry was completely different. We're talking measurable neurochemical changes that you could see clear as day in the data. These weren't subtle shifts either. These were significant, documented differences in how their brains were functioning. And what's really eye-opening is what this means for digital wellness. We're not just talking about, oh, maybe spend less time on your phone. The implications here are substantial and far-reaching. This changes everything about how we need to approach screen time and platform design.
Spot. Never even got outside the first.
So apparently Tom comes back with no problem. I'll give it up. But here's the catch. Release me from my contract. I'll hand over the belt if you let me walk away. Smart play, actually. He's basically saying, look, I hear what you're telling me. We can talk about me signing again and coming back for my championship later, but I want to keep my doors open. If this is what you want from me, then this is what I need from you. Now, honestly, that doesn't sound like Tom's usual approach to things, but if that's really how it played out, I've got nothing but respect for that move. The man's standing his ground, and Tom's earned the right to do exactly that because everyone seems to have forgotten his journey to get where he is. They're overlooking the fact that he completely destroyed his knee in that Curtis Blades fight.
Sacrifice of the family.
But here's the thing, and this is important to understand, they still need to do more research to nail down the causality. Like, does social media actually cause these changes, or is there something else going on? That's the million-dollar question. Plus, researchers are actively working on developing intervention strategies, actual practical solutions to help people who might be affected by this. Because once you understand the scope of the problem, you realize we need real science-backed approaches to deal with it.
He had to rebuild everything from scratch, got his confidence flowing again, started picking up momentum, really began building something special. Everything he accomplished after that, he was on this incredible run. He takes the John Jones fight without any drama, doesn't hold anyone up over money or timing issues. He's doing whatever needs to be done. Bottom line, he handled everything perfectly. He was the ultimate company man and became a huge star in the process. People might be forgetting exactly how he claimed that interim championship to begin with. They might not remember that war with Sergey Pavlovich when Tom was fighting in England. They threw that whole event together so quickly that Tom's wife couldn't even make it over to support him. And this was supposed to be his moment. Madison Square Garden is the kind of moment you want to share with your family, for Sergey too.
Time.
You hear Aspinall, that cold-blooded intent. Pereira vacating that light heavyweight belt isn't a choice. It's the brutal reality of his body pushing him to heavyweight, to that White House megacard. But Tom is that monster Izzy warned about, a brick wall in Powhatan's path. This isn't a casual move, it's a desperate gamble for legacy, pushed relentlessly by the UFC. Pereira will fight giants, but only after his own body has already fought half the war just to make weight, leaving him exposed, a weakened target for predators like Aspinall. What happens when that well of physical resilience runs dry? You tell me. Alright, so what are we really witnessing here, beyond the belts and the headlines? We're seeing the raw, unforgiving calculus of ultimate power. Tom Aspinall isn't just fighting for a title, he's forcing the entire landscape to bend to his will. His mere presence alone is a psychological pressure cooker, pushing a legend like Pereira to make agonizing choices, exposing the delicate balance between legacy, ambition, and the brutal reality of physical limits. This isn't just about punching power, it's about the fight IQ to navigate your own brutal reality, about knowing when to retreat, when to gamble, and when to confront the monster head-on. Dana White pulls the strings. Yes, but guys like Aspinall, they are the storm. And that, my friends, is the lesson. In life, in competition, there will always be an Aspinall demanding your best, exposing your weaknesses, forcing your hand. The question is, will you crumble under that pressure, or will you use it to forge your own legend? Think about that. Stay strong, stay hungry, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is where things get tricky though. I know Tom's got his sights set on boxing, and that's where you can really mess things up for yourself. The reality is, there's no boxing opportunities out there for Tom. There's no boxing opportunities for any of these guys, really. And the boxing world isn't what they imagine it to be. It's not just some massive payday waiting for them. None of those fantasy scenarios they're dreaming about. Sure, you've got those rare exceptions. You've got the McGregor-Mayweather situation, but McGregor versus Mayweather didn't come together because McGregor went to war with the UFC. McGregor versus Mayweather became this massive success because the greatest promoter of all time was mixing different worlds together, and everyone was ready to roll the dice on something completely new. Just so you know, they're partners with the UFC now, so that door's basically closed. I don't want to crush Tom's dreams here, I'm just being realistic. If you can handle both boxing and MMA, it's the same athletic commissions, same regulatory process, just for reference. The real opportunity is going to be in MMA. There's no legitimate world championship shot in boxing for him. There's also no big money fight in boxing either. That's just make-believe, but Tom would still have those options available to him, and if keeping those possibilities open matters to him, it's just a little different from how Tom usually handles business. So think about that however you want, but now we need to talk about Alex Pereira. If Pereira is really going to make this move to heavyweight, then he needs to commit to being a heavyweight fighter. I don't think Pereira would argue with me on this. I don't think Pereira would have any issues giving up that 205-pound championship. So instead of working together with the company, John goes rogue, he hands back the belt. People didn't love that move, but it's John being John. There's some wiggle room there. Then he disappeared for 3 years. 3 whole years sitting on the sidelines trying to bulk up for heavyweight. That's actually pretty humble when you think about what John did. Because honestly, John could have jumped straight in and grabbed that heavyweight belt without taking any time off. I'm just explaining how everything actually unfolded. So if Pereira wants to do the exact same thing, he's currently in light heavyweight condition. He wants to chase the heavyweight championship. And by the way, he doesn't need any prep time. Let's make it happen. He can fight at light heavyweight right now, or he can fight at heavyweight, doesn't matter. Let's go. That's a power move. Totally fits with Alex Pereira's style, but I don't think we're seeing this situation correctly. I don't think it's a problem at all if they fight for the interim championship. Not at all. I think that's actually perfect. I do believe if Pereira and Sergey are going to fight, there has to be a championship on the line. It needs to be booked as a potential 5-round war. Pereira is a world champion. When the world champion fights, a world championship needs to be at stake. That can definitely be the interim belt. But this idea that, hey, we've got to take Tom's belt away from him. Nothing against you, Tom, but we're moving forward, and it has to be for the undisputed championship. No, I can't get behind that. But I would say that in this situation, the fighter who would need to be stripped or vacate that belt would be Pereira. And I don't think Pereira would have a problem with that, or even care. Let those guys handle their business. If the heavyweight thing doesn't pan out and he wants to come back down, he'll just walk in and challenge whoever's holding the belt at that point. Like Israel Adesanya said, you guys deal with that monster.